Good morning, everyone. Let's start with a sobering fact. According to the World Health Organization, chronic diseases are responsible for approximately 71% of all deaths globally. We are talking about conditions that many of us are unfortunately familiar with: heart disease, stroke, cancer, diabetes, and chronic respiratory disorders. For decades, we've often thought of these as a matter of bad luck or bad genes, something that just happens as we get older. But a growing mountain of scientific evidence tells a different story. The truth is, the vast majority of these chronic conditions are not inevitable. They are, in fact, lifestyle diseases. This means that the daily choices we make, what we eat, how much we move, how we manage stress, and the substances we consume are the primary drivers behind their development. This might sound daunting, but it's actually incredibly empowering. It means that we are not passive victims of our genetics. We have the power to significantly influence our health trajectory. Throughout this presentation, we will explore the key lifestyle modifications that serve as our most powerful tools in the prevention of chronic disease, transforming our understanding of health from something that happens to us to something we actively create every single day. If we think of our body as a high-performance vehicle, then our food is the fuel. You wouldn't put cheap, dirty fuel in a sports car, yet we often do just that with our bodies. The single most impactful lifestyle change for disease prevention is adopting a balanced, nutrient-rich diet. So what does that actually mean? It means shifting our focus to whole, unprocessed foods, the kinds of things our great-grandparents would recognize as food. This includes a colorful array of fruits and vegetables packed with antioxidants that fight cellular damage, lean proteins that build and repair tissue, and complex carbohydrates from whole grains that provide sustained energy. At the same time, it means consciously minimizing our intake of the things that drive disease: highly processed foods, sugary beverages, and trans fats. These products are engineered to be hyper-palatable but are often stripped of nutrients and loaded with sodium, unhealthy fats, and chemical additives that promote inflammation, the underlying root of many chronic illnesses. Prioritizing a diet rich in plants, staying hydrated with water, and practicing mindful eating, paying attention to what and why you're eating, are not just about weight management. They are fundamental strategies for reducing blood pressure, improving cholesterol, balancing blood sugar, and creating an internal environment where disease struggles to take hold. Our bodies were designed to move. For millennia, human survival depended on physical exertion. Today, our default is often sitting at a desk, in a car, on the couch. This sedentary shift is a major contributor to chronic disease. Regular physical activity is one of the most effective forms of preventive medicine available. The benefits go beyond simply burning calories. When we engage in moderate exercise like a brisk walk, a bike ride, or a swim, our heart becomes a more efficient pump, our blood vessels become more flexible, and our body becomes more sensitive to insulin, which is crucial for preventing type 2 diabetes. The recommendation is for at least 150 minutes of this type of activity per week. But it doesn't stop there. Incorporating strength training 2 to 3 times a week helps maintain muscle mass, which is vital for a healthy metabolism and stable joints as we age. Critically, we must also focus on reducing our overall sedentary behavior. Even if you go to the gym for an hour every day, sitting for the other 8 or 9 hours at work is still detrimental. We need to consciously break up these long periods of inactivity. Set a timer to stand up and stretch every 30 minutes. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Go for a short walk during your lunch break. Movement is not a punishment. It is a celebration of what our bodies can do and a vital investment in our long-term health and mobility. In our hyper-productive culture, we often treat sleep as a luxury rather than a biological necessity. This is a critical mistake. Sleep is not a passive state of rest. It's an active period of intense neurological and physiological activity. While we sleep, our body is hard at work repairing damaged cells, clearing out metabolic waste from the brain, consolidating memories, and regulating the very hormones that control our appetite, stress levels, and immune function. Consistently skimping on the recommended 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night has been directly linked to an increased risk of obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and even dementia. Equally important is how we manage stress. We all experience stress, but the problem is chronic, unmanaged stress. When we are constantly in a state of fight or flight, our bodies are flooded with the stress hormone cortisol. Over time, elevated cortisol can lead to increased blood pressure, stubborn belly fat, a weakened immune system, and systemic inflammation. This is why developing a stress management toolkit is non-negotiable for disease prevention. This doesn't have to be complicated. It could be a 5-minute daily meditation practice, deep breathing exercises when you feel overwhelmed, a regular walk in a park, or simply making time for a hobby you love. Actively managing stress and prioritizing sleep are not signs of weakness. They are essential strategies for building a resilient body and mind.
While we focused heavily on the positive actions we can take, prevention also involves consciously minimizing our exposure to harmful substances. Let's be unequivocal. There is no safe level of tobacco use. Smoking and other forms of tobacco are the single most significant drivers of preventable chronic disease, directly causing a host of cancers, devastating respiratory disorders like COPD, and dramatically increasing the risk of heart attack and stroke. Quitting is the best possible thing a smoker can do for their health. Next, let's talk about alcohol. While some studies have pointed to potential benefits of very light consumption, it's a substance with a narrow therapeutic window. For many, the risks far outweigh the benefits. Excessive alcohol intake is toxic to the liver, can damage the heart muscle, and is linked to at least 7 types of cancer. If you choose to drink, it's crucial to adhere to moderation, which is generally defined as up to 1 drink per day for women and up to 2 for men. Beyond these, we should also be aware of our exposure to environmental toxins. This includes things like air pollution, pesticides on our food, and chemicals in cleaning supplies and plastics. While we can't eliminate all exposure, we can take simple steps to reduce our body's burden, such as eating organic when possible, using natural cleaning products, and filtering our drinking water. Reducing these harmful inputs is a critical piece of the prevention puzzle. Beyond the big 3 of diet, exercise, and sleep, there are several other powerful, often overlooked factors that play a huge role in our long-term well-being. Let's start with the gut. Inside us is a vast ecosystem of trillions of bacteria known as the microbiome. This isn't just about digestion. These microbes influence our immune system, our mood, and our level of inflammation. A healthy gut is a diverse gut. We can cultivate this by feeding it well with prebiotic fiber from foods like onions, garlic, and bananas, and by introducing beneficial bacteria through fermented foods like yogurt, kimchi, and kefir. Another critical factor is our social health. Humans are social creatures, and robust research shows that chronic loneliness and social isolation are as dangerous to our health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Maintaining strong, supportive relationships provides a buffer against stress and is profoundly protective. Make time for friends and family. Join a club or a community group. These connections are not a luxury, they are essential. Finally, let's not forget the mouth. There is a clear and direct link between the health of our gums and the health of our body, particularly our heart. Chronic gum disease, or periodontitis, is a state of constant low-grade infection and inflammation. The bacteria and inflammatory signals from the mouth can enter the bloodstream and contribute to the development of plaque in our arteries. So, regular brushing, flossing, and dental checkups are not just about a pretty smile. They are a key part of your chronic disease prevention strategy. All the lifestyle changes we've discussed are incredibly powerful, but they are one half of a complete prevention strategy. The other half is partnering with the healthcare system for proactive preventive care. We should not think of doctors as people we only see when something is broken. Instead, we should view them as our co-pilots on our journey to long-term health. Regular health screenings and checkups are absolutely vital. This is how we get a snapshot of what's happening inside our bodies. Simple tests for blood pressure, cholesterol levels, and blood sugar can catch the silent beginnings of cardiovascular disease or diabetes long before any symptoms appear. Early detection is everything. When we catch these conditions in their earliest stages, they are often far easier to manage or even reverse, frequently through the very lifestyle interventions we've been discussing. This includes age and risk-appropriate screenings for various cancers, which can be life-saving. It also means staying up to date on recommended vaccinations to prevent infectious diseases. So, I urge you to be an active participant in your health. Schedule your annual physical. Know your numbers, your blood pressure, your cholesterol. Ask your doctor questions. See them as a trusted advisor who can provide guidance, accountability, and medical oversight that complements the hard work you are doing every day with your lifestyle choices. This partnership is the key to a truly comprehensive prevention plan. As we conclude, I want to leave you with a message of hope and empowerment. We've covered a lot of information today: nutrition, exercise, sleep, stress, and more. It can feel overwhelming, and you might be wondering where to even begin. The most important thing to remember is that this is not about perfection, it's about direction. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. In fact, trying to do so is often a recipe for failure. The secret to long-term success lies in making small, consistent, sustainable changes. The goal is to build healthy habits that become a natural part of your life. So, instead of vowing to go to the gym 7 days a week, maybe you start with committing to a 15-minute walk after dinner 3 times a week. Instead of completely banning all your favorite foods, maybe you start by adding 1 extra serving of vegetables to your lunch each day. Or perhaps your first step is to set a bedtime alarm to help you get just 30 minutes more sleep. These small steps, when practiced consistently, compound over time. They build momentum and create a positive feedback loop that makes the next healthy choice easier. The integrated lifestyle practices we've discussed are the most powerful tools we have to reduce our risk of chronic disease and enhance our physical, mental, and social well-being. The power to build a healthier future is truly in your hands, and your journey can begin today with a simple single choice.